Hey everyone, and welcome to our tools overview for our C++ course. So you might have wondered after watching the syllabus outline, like how you'll be submitting your assignments and what tools you'll need to code your assignments in. So to address that, I'm making this video. We're going to talk about the tools that you will be using for this class. And in a subsequent video, I'll show you how to submit your assignments. So the tool we're going to be using to code with is an online tool called Codiva. And so if you go to codiva.io, you'll be able to make an account and access their tool. So to make an account, just go to the Create Account button over here and put in your email and put in a password, and it'll create an account for you. So once you've done that, you'll see a screen like this. And so this is sort of your account screen. And in it, you have access to their blog, to some of their own tutorials, and to this My Projects tab here, which is where we are right now. So I don't have any projects created yet. I think you initially get a demo project when you first create an account, but I've deleted that. So I'm just starting fresh. So to create an account, we can just click, or to create a project, we can just click this create button right here, and it'll open up this window. Now, Codiva has the ability to create files for a few different types of languages. So we're going to want to create one for C++, since that's the point of this course. So I'm going to create a file called example.cc. And this .cc is important because this is the file extension for a C++ program. Another maybe more common file extension is .cpp for C++. And while Codiva recognizes the .cpp file extension, I've noticed there's a few bugs when you use this extension with the IDE. So those bugs don't exist when we use the .cc file extension. So the .cc one is the one we're going to want to use. So I've created my file name and my extension here. And so I'm going to click on Create. And boom, we have over here our sort of beginner example file. I'll go over what all of this stuff means later. But for now, I just wanted to show you how the this development environment functions. So the first thing we can do is we see that we have this boilerplate code here, and it's saying hello Codiva. So let's run this. This is where we're going to be doing our coding, by the way, if that wasn't obvious. This is the file tree or the file structure. And so our inside of this source file is where our example file is. And so we can click this run button up here to run our program. And the results of our program will appear down here in this little window down here. So let's run it. And we see hello Codiva, which is the result of our program here. So that's how Codiva, I'm going to be pronouncing it Codiva because that's just somehow I got it in my head that that's how it's pronounced. I believe it's actually pronounced Codiva. So I might flip-flop back and forth. I believe the proper way is Codiva, but you might hear me say Codiva, and just like a slip of the tongue. So this is how we see the output of a Codiva program or a C++ program in Codiva. So let's now, I'm just going to do a little bit of basic coding. I'm not going to go super into I'm not going to go super in depth on what it means. We'll cover all of this later. I just want to show you the functionality. So I'm going to create a integer called number, and it's going to be empty. And the nice thing is that if I do something wrong, Codiva the IDE kind of gives me this hint on what I've done wrong, and it'll show you down in this window down here as well. So this is kind of a nice feature. A lot of IDEs, IDE, by the way, if you hear me refer to this as IDE, stands for Integrated Development Environment. And so this is an IDE, what we're using here. And a lot of IDEs have this functionality. So I am going to change this hello Codiva text to be enter a number. And then I'm going to write some code to make it so that we can enter our number. And we're going to be entering in a number and storing it into this number variable. And once again, we'll go over what this means later. I'm just trying to get some write some code to show you how the IDE works. So we've added to this program, and now we have an output that says enter a number, and we have input now. And then we print out what the input says. So I'm going to run the program again, and we see our text down here. It says enter a number, right? And so the way we can enter for our program is down here in this little bar here. So I'm going to enter the number 5, and I'm going to click enter. And so we can see that this is our input, and then this is the output of that number 5. And so this output corresponds to this line right here. So that's sort of like the input and output functionality that Codiva gives us. There's another pretty cool piece of functionality, which is this little plus sign over here. In the same way, if you ever use Google Chrome or other browsers, if we click this, it opens up a new tab. But the new tab is going to be a new file that we can create. So I'm going to call this new file example_2. I'm going to click create, and you can see it was added to the file tree over here. And so now we have 2 files. We have example2 and example1, and we can flip through them over here. Awesome. So what I'd like to do now to show you one of the last pieces is how we can share this. And so we're going to click on this share button here, and you can see at the bottom window that it's created this unique URL that you can use. I'm going to copy this into my clipboard, and you can use this to share this code. And so it's with this unique URL, as you can see, we have our file tree is here, our example is here. So this unique URL is how you'll be submitting your code. And I'm going to show you the process for that in another video. But right now, all you need to know is that when you click that share button, it'll give you a unique URL, and you can use that in Blackboard to submit your code. And I can then take that URL, I can open it up in my web browser, and I can run your code, and I can see how your program works. And I can give you feedback on your errors and what you did right and all that stuff. So this is just a really good tool to use for sharing code virtually, which is the whole point of this class. So the last piece of functionality I wanted to talk to you about was the once you've shared a project, it's saved in this My Projects tab that we talked about earlier. So you can see before I didn't have any projects, and now I have one project right here. And so what you can do is you can click this little gear icon, and you can give your project a name. I'll call this project 1, and you can also give it a description. You can save it there. And now we can refer back to this if we ever wanted to study our previous projects when it comes, finals week or something like that. So that kind of wraps it up. This is Codiva, an online C++ tool that we're going to be using. This is going to be really crucial in this class. So having an account and having a good understanding of how to use it is going to be very crucial. We're going to be submitting code once a week using this tool. So it's very important that you guys learn this tool. But that's it. It's fairly straightforward and simple. So I hope you guys have an easy time using it, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.